Good evening. I'm Tim Isham, and I'm the luckiest teacher on the planet. Seriously, I get my first year here. I walk in the door, and the level of musical commitment, the dedication to making a great performance every day when I walk in the door. And that's a testament to all their previous teachers that they've worked with, that are still working with, and of all of you, their parents have supported them the whole way. So, funny story about the next tune, Furiant. The composer of this tune was, for 3 out of my 4 years in undergraduate, my composition teacher. And the way that works is I would spend my week pouring my guts into this music and making it as beautiful, as gorgeous as I could. Then I'd bring it into him, and he would just meticulously and relentlessly tear it to pieces. To this day, even it's been many years since I graduated, I have this inner, a lot of us have an inner voice telling us what to do. I have an inner Del Borgo. Whenever I'm making a musical decision, I can hear that voice still. So I break out this piece. I know I can trust Mr. Del Borgo to write a good piece. So I think this piece, it looks fun, exciting, and we're rehearsing the first rehearsal. And I noticed, I said that we have 67 measures of just fortissimo. And if that doesn't mean anything to you, you can just imagine me going to a lesson with the music that I spent all week written, and Professor Del Borgo says, "Do you really want the orchestra to play fortissimo for 67 measures? How about this? How about this?" I would, he would mark everything up. And I would sit there and just watch and try to smile. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, well, Mr. Del Borgo, we're going to return the favor to me. And we spent a lot of time talking about different ideas we could do with the dynamics in the first 67 measures. So any kind of expressive louds and softs that you hear in the first half of the piece, that comes from them. So this is Furiant. and Natalie Organic to please stand up. Please stand up, Lydia. I want to recognize them for being selected. They're both selected for All County Orchestra this year, and Natalie was selected for junior high all area all state last year, which actually takes place this year. So let's have a hand for her. So how this happens, how we get to have a full orchestra and play Beethoven for real, is that I'm allowed to borrow some of our symphonic band members, concert band members. Once out of every 4-day cycle, they come and rehearse with us for half of a block, and we're able to put this together between spring break and now. So I'm very thankful to Ms. Cole for allowing me to borrow these wonderful students. Enjoy the Beethoven.